Let's do this. Hello, people. Another beautiful day. Yeah. Hope your five senses work, or your health and strength is good or excellent. What? What's up, Steam Deck fans? Steam Deck Tribe, Steam Deck Nation, Steam Deck Universe, Steam Deck World, Steam Deck Legion, what's good? Steam Deck Mod, what's happening? Steam Deck Squad, what's up? And to you Steam Deck nerds, geeks, and freaks, and you investigators, what's happening? Look, got two articles here. Let me read this. Look, Nintendo Corporation is jealous of the Steam Deck. Nintendo Corporation is jealous and envious of the Steam Deck. Listen to this. It says here, Dolphin. I got two articles here. One from Tech for Gamers, one from Gaming on Linux. It says here, Dolphin emulator Steam release delay after Nintendo issues DMCA. Says here, the emulation is not new. Is not a new concept in the gaming industry. Various emulators like PCX2 and more have allowed gamers to continue enjoying their favorite games long after support for older platform has ended. Today, emulators can be found for nearly every classic console, helping game preservation even when companies do not include backwards compatibility with their newer consoles. However, gaming companies are often not too fond of emulators. Says here, Dolphin is a popular emulator for the Nintendo Wii and the GameCube console. It is already available on various platforms, and Dolphin was supposed to come to Steam in the second quarter 2023, but it has now been delayed. Why it matters? Nintendo has a history of being harsh on emulation. It can be illegal on certain occasions. And it says here, Nintendo issued a DMCA notice on Valve that has indefinitely postponed the release of Dolphin emulators on Steam. The Dolphin emulator page had already been launched on Steam, but the page has now been removed. This was confirmed by development team in the latest blog post, with Nintendo having issued a cease and desist order. And it says here, the development team still has opportunity to file a counter notice. This would give Nintendo 2 weeks to sue, but the Dolphin emulators will likely return to Steam if the company chooses not to sue. Nonetheless, the development team find themselves in a difficult situation. Nintendo's DMCA note states, the Dolphin emulator operate by incorporating these cryptographic keys without Nintendo's authorization and decrypting the ROMs or at immediately before runtime. And then it says here, for fans of the Dolphin emulator, there's still some good news. The DMCA notice only affects the Steam launch, and the development is unaffected elsewhere. And then it says here, Nintendo has also not directly approached the team, and then has not yet been a takedown notice on other platforms. However, the Dolphin team is highly disappointed to delay the Steam release. Alright, now for the one on Gaming on Linux. Let's get this one. Says here, Gaming on Linux says here, Nintendo hits Valve with DMCA against the Dolphin emulator. Says here, back in March, the plan was to announce for the Wii and GameCube emulator Dolphin to release on Steam, along with some useful Steam features. But now now that seems unlikely to happen. The Dolphin team has now announced that their Steam page was taken down as Nintendo sent a DMCA takedown notice to Valve about it. Here's the statement they released. It is with much disappointment that we have announced that the Dolphin on Steam release has been postponed. We notified by Valve that Nintendo has issued a cease and desist citing the DMCA against Dolphin's Steam page and have removed Dolphin from Steam until the matter is settled. We are currently investigating our options and will have a more in-depth response in the near future. Then it says here, such a shame. Why now though? Dolphin has been around since 2003 for GameCube, adding basic Wii support in 2007. So Dolphin was there during the time the Wii was still being fully supported. Nintendo also only went after the Steam page, not the project as a whole, as it can be found on GitHub, an official site. According to a comment from the Citra developer on Reddit, it's due to Dolphin including decryption keys with projects. And it says here, really? It's not going to do Nintendo much good. It puts Dolphin all over the news, and even more people will now know about it and end up using it. That is the end of both articles. I'll leave them both in the description box. One from Tech for Gamers and one for Gaming on Linux. Now, let's get down to business. Nintendo Corporation is jealous of the Steam Deck. You know, Valve made a statement when they first released the Steam Deck. We couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run. When they made that statement, we couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run, that was talking about video game preservation. Okay? So what it means, like, okay, that people can run emulations on the Steam Deck, right? And then when Valve had when they first opened the Steam Deck and they were showing the inside of it and how it looks, the modding and emulation community was like, okay, we got something to say about that too. And they did. Now, since we're talking about video game preservation, this now goes back to what I've been saying from day one. It's about this stems from the Wii U. Nintendo never cared about video game preservation. When most people talk about the Wii U, they try to leave the 3DS out the picture. And they try to blame the Wii U for the problems because they themselves don't understand the Wii U and what it can do, and they don't understand video games. Here's the difference between the Wii U. You have the 3DS, it is cartridge, right? You have the Wii U, it is a handheld, docking station, and console in one. You have the best of both worlds. You have both markets, handheld and console. The 3DS is just a handheld, right? The 3DS is limited. That means it cannot do functionality and utilization of video games. But with the Wii U now, you can do functionality and utilization of video games. The Nintendo Wii U now had the entire Nintendo fan base needs met. Every angle, every direction, every base covered in video games. Then there's the Virtual Console. What is the Virtual Console? The Virtual Console was really made for natural disasters. Natural disasters made by man and natural disasters made by nature, right? The Virtual Console is like your bookstore and your public library. So when it comes to the Virtual Console now, it's about preserving video games. Nintendo Corporation now was supposed to take all their games and put it in the Virtual Console, right? When it comes to the Wii U, they tried to blame the Wii U for their problems. But that is far from the truth. The problem with the Wii U situation is the 3DS. You need to get rid of it. You don't need it anymore. Why? Because with the Wii U, you have a handheld and console. That means you can build a tablet as powerful as you want it, and you can build a console as powerful as you want it. And now functionality and utilization of video games comes into play. You can't do it with a 3DS, so you don't need it anymore. What most people do on YouTube when they do Wii U videos, they try to leave the 3DS out. They cannot explain the difference between the Wii U and the 3DS. It's not in them. They don't know this stuff, okay? So what I'm saying to you is true. You had a handheld and console in one. You got the 3DS, right? 3DS is cartridge. 3DS is a handheld. But you're limited. The Wii U now is a handheld and console in one. And you got a docking station for it. So now you can build a tablet as powerful as you want. And then you can build a console as powerful as you want. Now you have functionality and utilization of video games. And the thing is this with the Wii U now, it gives you options to play. The option to play on the controller with just the console and the TV, or the option to use the tablet, the console, and the TV with no controller, or the other option of using the controller, tablet, console, and TV. The Wii U gave you options. So when it comes to the Virtual Console now, Nintendo had work to do. They were supposed to take all their games and store it in the Virtual Console. They didn't. so they ignored video game preservation. They talking about with the Switch, they were trying to do gaming on the go. They were trying to go in a different direction, and they were trying to be different. And they were trying to oversell and overhype the Switch by saying it was a hybrid and it was a handheld and console in one. The Switch is not even a handheld and console in one. It's really not. It's just a handheld pretending to be a console. It cannot do the same things that the Wii U does. It's not built for that. So you're limited, right? So now Valve they come out with the Steam Deck. They said this: we couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run. Okay? So now that's talking about video game preservation. So now since you can run emulations on Steam, the emulators now they were the developers of these emulators, they were taking their emulation and putting them on Steam's and making the emulation for the Steam Deck, even from different consoles. So Nintendo seeing this and seeing that their games that they made on their own consoles, their own personal games that they made, it runs better on the Steam Deck. And now they're jealous, and they're envious of it. So now they try to issue a DMCA takedown of their games being run on the Steam Deck. But now this goes back now to the Wii U when it came to video game preservation. If they would have taken all their games and then put it inside the virtual console, it would have slowed down the emulation process in the video game industry a whole lot. It would have slowed down the emulation process. But since they ignored the virtual console and all they care about is sales of console, the modding community, emulation community is like, oh, you don't care about video game preservation now. You don't care about backwards compatibility and video game preservation now. Okay, we'll take care of it. So they start making all these emulations, and they're running them on PC and they're running them on the Steam Deck. And then with the Steam Deck now, with Valve, when Valve says, okay, we couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run, and then you add the PlayStation. First you add Sony with their exclusive to the mix, then you add Xbox, and you got your PC games, and now you got emulation. That makes the Switch look bad. So Nintendo right now, when it comes to this DMCA takedown with the Dolphin emulators, it's called jealousy and envy. It's the fact that they never cared about the preservation of video games, and they never cared about the backwards compatibility of video games. So everybody that plays video games, they have a game that they like from past consoles. They probably got 5 or 10 or even 15 or 20 of them from all the older consoles that they play. And you can't play those games like, say, on the Switch. So you don't care about, and plus those consoles now, their parts, they get old. You know, the systems they can die. But you never cared about preservation. So the people that have those classic consoles and they want to play it on a modern console, they want to play it. The only way they can do that is through emulation. So the emulation community is trying to preserve video games right now, when console manufacturers don't even do it. Well, except for Xbox, because Xbox did the backwards compatibility with the Xbox One and brought some of their original Xbox games and the 360 games to the Xbox One, and you can do it for the Series X. But developers like Nintendo, they don't care. They don't care about They don't care about video game preservation at all. They don't. And you can see it clear when you look at the Wii U. People quick to jump to sales. Those people that keep jumping to sales of the Wii U, they themselves couldn't even explain it. If you look at everybody that has done a Wii U video, they can't explain it. They didn't even know that there was a handheld and console in one. They didn't even know that you had the best of both worlds, and they didn't even know that they had the functionality and utilization of video games. They didn't know this because they never studied the console to see what they had. The other thing that they do is that they leave the 3DS out of the Wii U situation. They try to act like the 3DS don't exist. They don't know, they don't understand this stuff. So when it comes to this video game preservation situation, Nintendo has been ignoring this thing for years. And when it came to the Wii U, when they had the Wii U, all they had to do was get rid of the 3DS. They don't need it anymore. So all those 3DS games that were on cartridge, they were limited and they were missing content. They need to move over to the Wii U's virtual console so they can collect the rest of the missing content and update. That never happened. Then on top of that, you got your Wii U console games to deal with that are missing content and updates from a lot of them. And they were supposed to be in the Wii U's virtual console. That never happened. So now you were feeding the 3DS to make it look like it's better than the Wii U, but it's not. And you were doing that so you could build the Switch so you can get away from video game preservation. It has came back to haunt them. So yeah, this video game preservation now this is all Nintendo's own fault. This whole situation is all Nintendo's own fault. Valve, they support emulation. Valve, they like emulation. They don't care. They're just like, okay, fine. They like the emulation community. So when they made that statement that we couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run, that was all about video game preservation and preserving video game as a whole. So they gave the Valve gave them the modding and emulation community life, because they realize how important those older games are, you know, because it will take a lot of work to, like, okay, take all those games from all the previous consoles and then try to update them. It will take a lot of work. So when they came on and said we couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run, that was all about preserving video game alive as a whole, you know. And Nintendo is jealous of that because Nintendo, they themselves don't care about video game preservation. If they did, they would have never built the Switch. They would have never built it. Because they had the Wii U and the Virtual Console to work on. And they tried to ignore it. And they tried to act like it wasn't going to come back to haunt them, but it didn't. It came back, you know. So now they're trying to attack the Dolphin emulator communities because they're jealous, you know. They're jealous and envious, you know, of something that they were supposed to take care of. If they would have took all their games and put it in the virtual console, it would have slowed down the emulation community a lot. It's like, oh, we can't emulate this game because Nintendo. It's like, oh, we cannot emulate these games because why? Nintendo already got the games in their virtual console. We can't do it. So once they ignored it, the emulation community was like, okay, we'll take care of it. And then you add Valve statement to the mix. We couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run. Oh yeah. You know, Valve is trying to preserve. They were trying to preserve video games by that statement. You know? So Nintendo right now, they're just jealous right now. You know, when it comes to the Steam Deck, they're really jealous of the Steam Deck. You know, on what it's doing and all the games that it is getting, whether from the Sony side or the Xbox side, or just PC and emulation as a whole. You know? Yeah. So Nintendo is getting a dose of their own medicine because they don't do video game preservation, man. I mean, these consoles, you know, they can get old. They can die out on you. But okay, all right. But if the console die now, can I play all those games on a newer console that I played from all the previous console? Can I play all those games from the past? What if I got the physical copy? Can I take the physical copy that I have and then play it on the newer console? They never cared about it, you know? But then this now goes back to the whole cartridge versus CD. When this whole situation started with the between the PlayStation 1 and the Nintendo 64. This all goes back now to the cartridge versus our CD. So if Nintendo would have kept all their games on CDs at the time during the 64 when the PlayStation 1 came out, when the PlayStation 1 came out, that means all those games that they had from the 64, if it was a CD system, and from the like the GameCube and the Wii, they would have been able to been play on the all on the Wii U, if you know all on the Wii U, but they tried to ignore this, and they're paying the price now. So now they're trying to attack Valve. They're just jealous that Valve is doing a better job than they are right now. Because Valve is letting the emulation community like, okay, you know what? We know you guys trying to preserve these games alive. Okay, you can run it on the Steam Deck. We're not worried about it. So Nintendo trying to go at Valve over something that they ignored. Yeah, this is their own fault. This is their own fault. So but this goes back now to the Wii U now when they were supposed to refresh the console, stay with it, and just keep using it, because the Wii U brought a new style of gameplay to video games, which was functionality and utilization of video games. Yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the whole thing. But this whole situation is all about emulation and video game preservation, and Nintendo Corporation is jealous of the Valve's Steam Deck. Period. Anyway, latest video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Bored, dark side. Go. Peace.